And hi, welcome to the IT Chronicles 10 in Tech. I'm here with Carlos Casanova.
Hey, Kathleen.
Hey, and we've got the opportunity to interview Praveen Ramesh. You're the Community Outreach Manager for Freshworks.
That's right.
Yeah, and interesting enough, I wanted to hear more today about the roundtable sessions that you were running at the conference.
Yes. So, roundtables, Refresh is an event, people come here to learn and, kind of draw a lot of value. But we thought, okay, why should people only draw, a lot of value and stuff only from our products? Why not, give them an opportunity to kind of know about things that might help them in everyday jobs? So Roundtables was one such effort where, we had roundtables based on customer experience, employee experience, and sales and marketing, pretty much what the workshops were also on very generic topics that will help practitioners go and implement them on their desk.
So were they really well attended? Like how, was it packed? Was it a lot of customers? Or did you specifically invite some customers who have a lot to say? Okay. How did you get the people to come to the event?
Okay, so the thing is, we, the whole process was driven by customers because, I'm part of the community team, so always love to hear from them.
That'd be kind of wrong if you kind of told them. That can really not be very customer.
So, yeah, that's right. So we sent out a survey with a bunch of topics in each of these, categories. And people, customers basically responded saying, hey, this is what we want to learn, this is what we want to discuss. And we finalized topics based on that. And interestingly, there are certain topics that we have done 3 times, once yesterday and twice today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because, there was such an overwhelming response. And typically in terms of, the number of people attending, it's 10 to 15 people in each roundtable. And we have a moderator and a host who basically drive the discussion towards, that will help them maximize the learnings for attendees.
Right.
So was there any, how did you capture it? Did you record it? Or was it more just like just-in-time kind of learning?
Yeah. So, one thing that we were very conscious about was not to keep it very formal, because the moment you put on a camera and, you tell people that, okay, you're being recorded and stuff, people
like what we're doing to you?
Oh, yeah. I'm not camera shy, but I'm pretty sure a lot
So just tell us all the secrets, what's really going on.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching.
So, as I was saying, so it was just-in-time learning where, we let our moderators and our host kind of drive the discussion towards that will help our attendees maximize the learnings. For example, there were sessions where the attendees told that, hey, we are just here to learn, so these are things that we want to learn from this. For example, there was this session on, what metrics in customer support helps you measure your success. So our audience typically told, our moderators on what they specifically wanted. So they were told that, hey, we mostly, people in the room are first-time managers, so let's not go into redundant metrics, but more strategic ones. Yeah. So it was mostly driven by the audience even during the discussion. And no, we didn't take any video recordings. It was just, good old taking notes while people are discussing, and we are going to be sending them their minutes.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And I guess it's too, is like sometimes you have to push a little bit more to get people to feel comfortable.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I've done some of the round panels, and I always find that those facilitated sessions, especially from being on the panel, they're far more valuable because it's not some presentation that I talk at you.
Yes.
I'm actually conversing with you, and it'll take it to wherever we're going. I've done it. I did one with my co-author at one point, and we intentionally did not have anything structured.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, here's the 5 topics we're thinking of. What do you all think about?
That's
and it was just, they literally, it was almost like a stand-up comedian type thing.
Yeah.
They throw out the topic, okay, let's talk about that, and then you facilitate the guidance.
Correct.
But the camera, it's tough. You want to capture that because there's so much knowledge.
Yeah.
But we're comfortable obviously on camera and stuff, but there are a lot of people or companies won't let certain people talk on any recording.
That's right.
So they're going to be a lot more reserved. It's like, well, I can't really say that.
Correct.
So you lose that energy. So the fact that you did it in that way, were you planning on doing multiples of the same one? Did you kind of anticipate, hey, this is going to be something that we have too many people to just hold in one session?
Yeah. So as interestingly, to what you said, right, the multiple sessions had very diverse takeaways. Yeah. For example, the first session that we had on the metrics, metrics is the one that was the most popular one. We had 3 sessions running on that. Each session had a very diverse takeaway, not similar to each other.
Yep.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. So again, that was chosen based on the number of people who had voted for it.
Right.
And there were like at least 60, 70 people who wanted to attend just those roundtables on metrics. So we had to kind of restrict people to, hey, the first 15 to come are the first 15 that are going to be admitted.
Sure.
Because the invitation was pretty much open to all the attendees.
Yep.
So we had to kind of, I mean, I'm sorry to whoever we stopped from attending, but yeah, we could accommodate only 15 in the this thing, the roundtable.
But I think that's a great point. And again, why the talking head presentation model? I mean, I do a lot of them. Don't get me wrong, but I love that because you could have probably, I don't say you could never have predicted which 3 avenues they would have come out, but it's like, okay, we're going to talk about this, or we're going to talk about that. Well, when those people are in the audience, well, that's not what I really wanted to talk about.
Correct.
And when I set up the presentation, I didn't hit that one.
Yeah.
So it's great that you actually allowed it to basically just be organic and just kind of let it go where it is. And it is not all that surprising that you got 3 different end results.
Correct. And even the moderators and the panelists we had chosen, right, were people who have been there and done that.
Right.
For example, we had a CIO leading a discussion on, what are the global, challenges for a global IT team and how to overcome them. So he's been a CIO for over a decade now, and he has seen all those challenges. Yep. So when, and we had a couple of other senior leadership from other companies as well. So when, those kind of people try to come in, and by the virtue of filtering the topics and, kind of this thing, we have very targeted audience who just want to come learn, and it's not very high level stuff. I mean, as I told at the starting, it's more tactical. Yep. And it comes from people who have seen very similar challenges. How I would have tackled the challenge is very different from, let's say, how Carlos would have done it and how you would have done it.
No, and in the past, I've run, we call them birds of a feather session, right? And you usually bring people in from the product group, and then you get the customers. And the great thing about how you structured it is that you don't get too many people from one organization, right? Because they can, you sometimes have those overpowering voices and opinions, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've done fireside chats and stuff. They're all the same thing. It's just like, it's these conversations of let it take you where it goes.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we going to call ours?
I don't know.
10 in Tech, maybe?
10 in Tech, yes.
Yeah, probably a half semicircle table because we are 3 people.
Yeah.
So add 5 more and it'll become a round table.
Or 3 bar stools.
Yeah.
So I was never good at geometry, so this sounded round.
Or triangle table.
Triangle table.
Yeah. And also, it gave you an opportunity to plug the upcoming community, of course,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Arvind would appreciate that.
Yes. Arvind, in case you're watching. And interestingly, we have a session at 3:30 today. It's about how to build engaging communities, a roundtable on.
Perfect.
Because we wanted to take lessons from people who've been there and done that.
Right.
Also because we are launching ours now, and we have a big steep curve to take. Yep. So it'll be good to take lessons from other people in the ecosystem. So yes, we are having one roundtable on that as well.
Excellent.
Okay, great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Praveen.
Yes.
You're taking the time out to talk to us today.
Yes.
And we really appreciate it.
Yes, I mean, it didn't feel like an interview because the moment, you guys were telling it's going to be, I was like, oh my God, but it felt more like a conversation.
And we try to make people feel relaxed.
Yes, thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.